Well, it's that time of year again. Time to spoil the entire NFL playoffs and tell you jackanapes everything that is 100% going to happen, because I am literally always right. No need to go back and watch my video from last year in which I said Detroit and Buffalo were going to the Super Bowl. I was feeling a little under the weather, and so my powers for clairvoyance were a little off. Also, some of the games didn't turn out the way they were supposed to. I mean, who could have predicted that the Lions would shit the bucket when playing a game that actually mattered? They've only been doing that for the past 100 years. The 2025 NFL season has been one of the wackiest that I can recall. I mean, look, the road team is favored in 4 of the 6 wildcard games. The Packers are the number 7 seed and are favored on the road visiting the 2 seed Bears. Any one of these teams could run the table and win it all, and it wouldn't be a big surprise to anyone. Well, except for you, Carolina. You weren't winning shit. But that's why I'm here, to sift through the hullabaloo and spoil the entire NFL playoffs by telling you who is going to win every game. Starting with LA Rams versus Carolina Panthers. Everyone's sexy Super Bowl pick for the past month versus the team that everyone agrees has no business even being in the playoffs. These two teams actually met in Carolina back in November, with the Panthers winning a nail-biter 31-28 in a game where Matthew Stafford came out and shit the bed with 3 turnovers, while Bryce Young, who was too short to play quarterback in the NFL, looked uncharacteristically good under center. And the fact that despite all that, the Panthers won on a late field goal shows just how outmatched they are here. Yeah, the Panthers are not winning this game. The Rams defense is going to absolutely bury them, though the Rams offense will also struggle because they are extremely streaky, as the Rams escape Carolina with a 14-10 win. Green Bay Packers, Chicago Bears. Oh hey, the Bears are the number 2 seed with a promising young QB and an elite defense. I feel like I've seen this before. Seriously, if I'm a Bears fan, I'm feeling pretty nervous right now. I mean, you've got this great season, your quarterback is finally starting to deliver on his potential, and your first playoff game is against a hated division rival, and you're not even the favorite. I mean, it's all going against you at this moment. But I'm going to let you off the hook here because I see a high-scoring affair, not unlike the 49ers game, only this time the Bears outlast Jordan Love and his weird dandy mustache. 32-25. Buffalo Bills, Jacksonville Jaguars. And speaking of facing a lot of pressure, Josh Allen, one of the supposed best quarterbacks of his generation, can finally look out over the playoff landscape and not see Patty Mahomes waiting to end his season. But same as it ever was, I think the Jaguars have more playmakers on defense. And the Bills, who despite having a top 10 defense, can't stop the run to save their lives, as the Jaguars notch a signature playoff win with a comfortable 41-28 victory. San Francisco 49ers, Philadelphia Eagles. You know, the story for the Eagles this season has been how inconsistent the offense has looked, and that they're basically being carried by an elite defense. But if you paid attention, you'd know that this has always been the case. Even in the Super Bowl and the Conference Championship, which were both blowouts, you'd find the offense wasn't able to sustain long drives down the field, but benefited from never having to, either because Saquon broke off a long touchdown run, or the defense set them up with a short field. If neither of those things happened, the Eagles struggled to move the ball regularly or with any kind of efficiency. Anyway, this doesn't matter here because the Niners are just too banged up, especially on the back end, and don't have the firepower to hang with the Eagles, who were able to keep their shit together long enough to win 30-20. LA Chargers, New England Patriots. You know, there's something about Justin Herbert, similar to Josh Allen, where you know he's talented, you know he's incredible at the QB position, but he is just such a fucking loser. And I don't mean that even as a knock against him, but you watch Justin scrambling around behind a line that's held together by paper mache, and with 2 free runners in his face, he's athletically gifted enough to get a pass away and hit his receivers in the hands only for him to drop it. That's Justin Herbert's entire career. He is just born to lose in the NFL. And now he's starting to hit his prime, and he's already being surpassed by younger QBs like Drake May. And I don't even think the Patriots are legit. In fact, I think they have as many impressive wins as some teams that didn't make the playoffs. Also, it's really funny to hear people gush over Drake May as he lights up the fucking Jets for the second time. But I also think it's a big ask to expect the Chargers to win in New England in January, and the Patriots are able to escape with a win, 24-17. Houston Texans, Pittsburgh Steelers. I feel like this is the most underrated matchup of Wild Card Weekend, as the Houston Texans, a team carried by their defense and marginally competent QB play, head to Pittsburgh to take on Aaron Rodgers, whose body is mostly CBD and conspiracy theories at this point. Now, on paper, the Texans are the better team, but they are also wildly inconsistent on offense. And since Aaron Rodgers usually takes care of the ball, I see this as the sort of game that fans of defense will love, but one which Houston ultimately squeaks out, winning 17-16. On to the divisional round, aka the best weekend on the NFL calendar. Philadelphia Eagles, Chicago Bears. Perhaps the biggest question about the defending Super Bowl champion Eagles is just what the hell happened to Saquon Barkley? And the answer to that question is as simple as the offensive line, who have been downright horrible at run blocking, not helped by Grant Calcaterra, who couldn't stop a sentence with a period. Shout out to Trap House Sports. I'll go into more detail in a future video, but the bottom line is the 2025 Philadelphia Eagles simply do not have it. I don't even think the Bears are all that good, but are gifted a divisional round matchup against a team who didn't come to play this year, and they win 18-14. Houston Texans, Denver Broncos. Two offenses so inconsistent and two defenses so elite that the final score might somehow be in the negative. Also two teams that have spent most of the past decade in roster hell, thanks to Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson, but admirably rescued themselves from those respective fires. Houston has started to turn a corner, but not enough to go into Mile High and escape with a win. Broncos 24-14. Jacksonville Jaguars, New England Patriots. The more I look at this AFC bracket, the more I realize the whole conference sucks. The Jaguars jump out to a 14-0 lead, but the Patriots come alive and pull Duval County back to reality. Patriots 27-24. LA Rams, Seattle Seahawks. What, do you expect me to trust Sam Darnold in the playoffs? Fuck you. I don't think so. Jared Verse eats his ass all day. Rams 24-14. Now when everybody starts getting seasonal depression as they realize there's only 3 games left in the NFL year. LA Rams, Chicago Bears. The more I look at the NFC, the more I realize this whole league sucks, as both teams come out and start dealing turnovers. A couple defensive touchdowns and the game ends up going into overtime, where Matthew Stafford puts a stake into the heart of the entire city of Chicago, and the Rams move on to the Super Bowl, winning 35-32. New England Patriots, Denver Broncos. It turns out the most shocking thing to happen in the playoffs is that the higher-ranked teams in the AFC actually win. Drake May versus Bo Nix. And here I thought it was illegal for two dudes this white to be in the same building. Anyway, the Nick Fuentes Bowl ends up exactly as you'd expect. Extremely low scoring and back and forth, with the Denver Broncos ultimately coming out on top, winning 23-18, and sending the team that only beat the Jets 13-11 and the Rams 10-7 onto the Super Bowl. Yep, here we all are. Super Bowl, I don't speak Roman. Denver Broncos, LA Rams. The culmination of one of the worst seasons of football I can remember. The Los Angeles Rams, led by noted mattress salesman Matthew Stafford, and someone who somehow looks like a jock and a nerd, Sean McVay. And on the other side, the Denver Broncos, led by Bo Nix and Sean Payton, who despite being separated by 37 years, both somehow look like middle-aged lesbians. This is basically a repeat of the Bengals-Rams Super Bowl from a few years back, where they exchange early scores, but points are mostly hard to come by. But in the fourth quarter, Stafford finds Puke Nukem for what is ultimately the deciding score. The Rams win 22-16, and we can all put this completely forgettable year behind us. But even though you now know what is going to happen in every playoff game, do not use this information to bet on sports, because sports betting is for losers. I'm serious, man. It is some serious loser shit, and if you need to gamble on football to enjoy it, then you don't really enjoy football, and you aren't even really a man. In fact, you are basically worse than a furry. Good night and good luck.